So first things first, I found some vulnerabilities in this IPAM solution, this IP access management solution. It is called Netbox. And it was, let's see, missing stuff. Let me see if I can pop out this chat. I can. Beautiful. Pop out one chat. Pop out two chat. And now we just hope that we can continue to read them. I have two monitors, so we'll go from here. Anyway, I found some vulnerabilities in this application. It's called Netbox. It's an IP address manager solution, and it's open source. Let's see if we can go to Netbox Labs. Yeah, so this is a solution. As we can see, it's used by all of these people. Maybe uses a strong word. It says it's trusted by. So I'm assuming that all of these companies use it. Well, I found some cross-site scripting vaults in it. Let's get those pulled up. And then we'll get logged in. I need a new vault. I just set up this other VM. Write-ups, localhost. Do that. We can see some of the other machines, technologies that I'm going to start looking at pretty soon. First things first, we need to upgrade some plugins. Install some plugins. And then I'll go into it. Minimal. Go yellow. Cool. So I ended up finding multiple cross-site scripting vulnerabilities in this application. They are in a previous version. The one that I think is super cool is through the RSS feed, and I think in this version that I'm running right now, I think that it's not vulnerable in its current state. Yeah, we're on 4.2.3. It was fixed in 4.2.2, so we're gonna need to downgrade the server in order to exploit it. So let's do this. So we'll go down to, the old version is 4.2.3, we're gonna say. I'm not trying to downgrade in this manner, so here's hoping this even works. Awesome. We'll go to 4.2.1, and we're currently on 4.2.3. See if this works. It's not a directory. Okay. Well, that's not true. Maybe this will be it. Oh, virtual environment. We are on that version. Let's see if it's up or down. It's down. So we've got something that's broken. Probably should have tested this beforehand. Cannot write. Cannot open. Error. It's not recoverable. Exit. Awesome. Well, can we go to another version? I have 407 on here. I think I have 417 on here as well. And I have no idea what it's going to be currently using, so. Okay, did that work? What version are we on? On 417. Okay. So this should have the vulnerable RSS feed. And let's do a little bit of setup. Because what we want to do is, so Netbox has this feature in it. And it is a feature, you know, it's intended, it's intentional. But you can upload scripts to it, Python scripts, and they'll run. And because of that, you can get a shell on the box. Man, I don't know if I have everything over here. Wow. We have a bunch of versions. Yeah, anyway. Right now we're running as the administrator. On the machine, we have to exploit these configurations. This is where the vulnerability actually lies. Several of them are in here. So each of these, script, alert, hacking. Each of these is vulnerable to cross-site scripting, and then each in their own way. So let's go bottom banner, top, maintenance, and login. On top of these fields being vulnerable, this page itself is also vulnerable because right here in this current value field, it's actually rendering user input from this page. So whatever we type into this field will also appear here. And it's not being sanitized in any way. So when we create this, we should get a bunch of different pop-ups, dump a bunch of different alerts. Ooh, and we didn't. Is that because I fixed it in this? Oh no. Did I wonder if this is one of those where I was testing repairs, fixes. Damn it. Okay. Let's go. So we're on 417. Let's move to, what versions do we have on here already? We can go to 421. And we'll see what happens. Permission denied. Let's run housekeeping and restart it. Well, assumption is this is down right now. Yeah, of course it is. Let's create a new environment. I guess I need to add this into the steps. Anyway, I guess while that's finishing, we can look. So I found RSS feed in the dashboard, the log, or I found XSS in the RSS feed, the login page, the top and bottom banner, the maintenance banner, the configuration history. We can perform cross-site request forgery, and remote code execution on the machines. The CSRF is empowered by the cross-site scripting. If it weren't being displayed, we would not be able to perform CSRF attack. The problem in the RSS feed stems from this file, netbox template extras dashboard widgets RSS feed.xml, and this is the vulnerable code. We can see here inside of this text, this HTML document, that there is a filter added onto this Django template, and it's calling it safe. So it's saying, any user supplied input here, to just take it as it is, and run it. And so when I saw this summary, entry.summary, I had a kind of difficult time at first, but I knew that the RSS feed had to be vulnerable in some way because the safe was here. I didn't quite understand what this meant, but over time, I ended up finding out through testing, a lot of testing, that the summary tag was vulnerable to cross-site scripting. And in order to pull this off, we just encode, HTML encode the less than and greater than symbols, ampersand, commas, apostrophes, so on and so forth. And that would allow us to run it inside of the summary tag. So we're looking at less than script, greater than alert, document.cookie, less than slash script, greater than, and this is a brief summary of the blog post. Let's see if it's done updating it. It doesn't normally take long. And hopefully it'll actually load this time. Maybe not. Oh no. Hey, there we go. Okay. Yes. So the top banner, there's the XSS from that. There's the bottom banner, XSS from that. If we log out, we should end up seeing the login banner XSS trigger. And there it is from the login banner. And then we have to go through all of this again. And to edit it, we should end up seeing this every time we change pages. We're going to see the top banner and the bottom banner because they appear on every page. And in my report to the vendor, I try to stress that we could capture key presses on every page that the top and bottom banner appeared on, including in here. So the reason that it's triggering here will become apparent in just a moment, and there's why there's so many in that same instance. So if we take a look here, current value, strong, and then inside our script tag is just sitting in there doing the alert. So we see the login banner, and then the script tag's in there also. So let's go ahead and remove these out. And see if we can exploit the RSS feed. In order for maintenance to work, you need to enable it and put it into maintenance mode. But once that happens, the entire web application, while in maintenance mode, is actually vulnerable. So let's go ahead and get back, and 10.5.0.129. Let's see if we can get everything pulled up properly, and see if we can do get some remote code execution on the box or create a user. Let's take a look at what we're doing. Let's see. We're getting the CSRF token. We're going into extra scripts, and we're adding a script. We should be making a request to ourselves. Yo, Big Lil, how's it going? Yeah, so we're going to put in our own IP import, which we're going to serve the malicious XML file from. And then we're going to upload it into a file. We're going to call it shell.py. Actually, we're going to have them upload it. So the administrator, because the administrator is one of the only individuals that actually has access to this part of the portal. Their permissions are like locked down. I was not able to, like, I don't know, bypass any of the permission sets. They're my testing. Let's go back. Yes, so we have our, I sent him several scripts because I wasn't sure how impact would work, or like what they would even understand. I really just wanted them to accept these vulnerabilities, and in the end they really only accepted the cross-site scripting in the RSS feed. They said that that was unintentional, which of course it was. How, you know, like cross-site scripting in the like in the RSS feed in the summary tag, nonetheless, causes a lot of problems. So this script allows us to create a user, whatever we want. In this case, it would be attacker user with a password of password. We're confirming the password. We're setting the first name, the last name. We're saying that it is active, and that it is staff. It also is super admin. So if we were to host this file and then point the RSS feed to it here, it would actually end up creating a new user. And I suppose we can do that in a minute. First, let's take a look at this again. $9,006. Okay. So we'll host the file. We'll start a netcat listener. Ooh. We're actually gonna need to edit this. $10.50.129. To edit it here. 10503, port 9003. We're just going to post request to the vulnerable server. Okay. I think this is going to work. And then we should only need to point this, what do we call it? RCE.xml to ourselves, and our IP is 3. And we can already see the GET request. No exploit. Let's see if we've got it uploaded. Netbox. What terminal are you using? It looks nice. Z-Shell? Terminator? Yeah, this is Terminator. I've just edited the colors. Just edited the colors so that there's something I like. Let's see. See scripts. Okay. So that is the one thing about this exploit is that it'll only trigger once every 600 seconds. So every time it doesn't work, I had to restart the server, rename the file, and test again. Let's do this. Create user. Where is our remote code execution? Really, this should be fine though. Let's go back up. 10.5.0.129, that should be fine. Oh, did I not change the port on the other one? The variable code. No, it wasn't it because it wasn't. It didn't do it. That doesn't matter. Ten five three receive upload. 10.5.0.129 actress add. We're calling it shell 6. We'll just call it Shelly. Try and host it again and see if we can get it to spawn. We'll go over here. RCE2. You can see the get request. We should be seeing more come back though. Let's see if it's even here. Yeah, it's not here. Awesome. Let's see what's happening. Token fetched, 500 failed. Send push request to 10.5.0.129. Internal server error. Request failed with status 500. Where is our... Just want to see if we can create our user. And it's create user XML. And we should be creating a user with username attacker user. What version am I on? 421. Everything should still work in 421. There's that. Operation. Okay, so there's our attacker user. So that is working. So we know that the RSS feed is vulnerable. We know that we've been able to now create the user. We can see that they are staff and a super user. And we can log in with them if we wanted, but I am not particularly feeling it. I'm really more interested in the RCE not triggering again. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so this is the issue here, right, with the RSS feed being vulnerable in this manner is that I guess in a way it would kind of be like a supply chain attack, right? Because you might be getting updates. So for instance, Netbox by default has its RSS feed loaded in here. If we take a look, it's to netbox.dev/RSS. So by default, we're getting RSS feeds straight from them. This entire time in this version 4.2.1 or earlier, if somebody had compromised Netbox and they had already found this vulnerability, then from there, they could craft a payload which would create a super user on anyone's Netbox instance that was receiving RSS feeds or updates. So while Netbox itself should not be like internet facing, it is going to it does need access to the internet to like receive updates and whatnot. You know, that kind of thing. So while this only updates every 600 seconds, I mean, based on this alone, you know, it actually working and creating a user. I mean, as you see, when I come back to this page, there's really no indicator, and there's nothing that says that I need it to say this. Like, you know, this could actually look legitimate. You know, like this. It doesn't have to look like this, saying JavaScript post request CSRF token. It does not have to say that. That's just something I've got written in the script, or in the XML file in the RSS feed. So, you know, it could just seem like another file, right? Another link like disclosing what, hey, we're excited to announce that the latest release of Netbox service now CMDB and workflow integrations packed with new capabilities, so on and so forth, whatever, like news, right? And of course, with this, or maybe not, of course, but with this vulnerability, all they had to do was actually remove the safe filter on there, and maybe filter is not the right word for that, but in the application, input in this field was being identified as safe. Let's see if we can get so we know our RSS feed's working. We know that we can create administrators. Let's find out why the remote code execution is not working. And honestly, for all I know, it could have something to do with... Actually, I'm not sure. It could have... I don't know. You know, I don't know. 10503. 10503. 9006 10503. Text Python shell. We're calling it shell 6. It's fine. We're sending a post request, request to ourselves, and you see in the RSS feed every instance of greater than, less than, ampersand, apostrophe is encoded, HTML encoded, so that it'll actually render properly on the page, and make it through like the summary, the RSS feed. I wonder if we can see it in the message. Where am I? Here? I guess not. When I ended up taking out the safe in order to see like what happens, this becomes semicolon APOS ampersand. I really just want to get this working. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Oh yeah, so I was trying to like I guess exfiltrate data, right? The users table, et cetera, et cetera. Pretty much anything. And realistically, it does work. Form, blob. I mean, genuinely, we should be fine with this. We're sending the create, auto sync, data source, init time, grabbing the CSRF token, using the upload, posting to scripts add. That was 49. RCE feed 49.xml. In this version, this requires external connection is new. We can run it. There's a 200. It would take a minute for it to actually come back. Let's see if it's even in here. It's not. And let's follow it. So we can see look at the console. Failed with status 500. So it's not making the post to extra scripts add. Is there a reason? Set mode. Extra scripts add. Let's go and check it out ourselves. Scripts. Create a script. We'll upload our. No, we won't. Extras scripts add. Is that the right path that we have? Extras scripts add. That's not the right section. Let's look at this. Or not. Right, we're only gonna get the one request as long as until we change the name again, because it's only one request every 600 seconds. So it's a lot of trial and error. Let's do a thing. Let's go back to 3. Call this 3. And let's just try and upload it. I think it was that one. Insufficient write permission to media root. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is a me problem. Is this even right? We do want recursive. Change owner of view to root. Likewise, but also change its group to staff. NoxLumens. So by default, this is actually owned. These directories are owned by I mean, opt is owned by root, but the netbox folders and files inside of it are owned by the netbox user, or in my case, the NoxLumens user. So if we run this again, let's see. Getting a 500 error still. Python version, solid version. The file permission error was detected while processing the file comment. The configuration media root is ensure that netbox runs. The user netbox runs as has access to files to all locations within its path. And it should. Something I did not do a second ago is restart the netbox service, which is likely necessary. There it is, sudo systemctl restart netbox and netbox rq. To create. You can do it. You can't do it. Netbox scripts. Netbox scripts. Oh, is that what I've done? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so this is the default configuration, and there's our reverse shell. And that was not through this. It's actually, that was through the RSS feed. If we check out what directory we're in, we're actually in the netbox folder. But yeah, that is how I found cross-site scripting, and then through a feature of Netbox, was able to convert the RSS, the XSS in the RSS feed here to remote code execution on the target, on the host. And that's kind of why this, not why this was so dangerous. It's just a reason why it's so dangerous, right? We could do any number of things. When I sent them the the report on the login page, I sent them let's see which code. I sent them, there we go. I sent them code, keylogger, right? So crafted a keylogger, and we can just pop it into the login, banner, the top banner, the bottom banner. Can log it into any of those. Of course, the login banner is going to be most impactful because, you know, with the keylogger in there, every key press that occurs on the login page is captured and sent away to the attacker's server. The Anyway, these are the vulnerabilities that I ended up finding inside of NetBox. It was, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. It was I want to say it was like, okay, so it was a week, you know, to find everything and get some of them working. The RCE, the remote code execution, that took 2 weeks, and it took a lot of fiddling. And if you just saw the process, it's again once every 600 seconds, or I can just increment this by one, right? So 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. And that's after, you know, going through, looking at the script, trying to figure out what's wrong, checking and inspecting, writing logs to console, and just trying to figure out what is going on in the application itself. I'm interested. So there's a lot of back and forth, and these are the vulnerabilities that I found. These are the ones that I've disclosed to NetBox. These are the ones where they've opted to only fix the RSS, the XSS in the RSS feed. So this has been fixed as of version 4.2.2, and we could probably see that. Something you'll notice, let's see. Let's go back. Sudo nano. Actually, I don't think I need to do that anymore. Who owns it? And we're on 4.2.1. So we'll go to 4.2.3. That's the latest version. And we'll call the old version 4.2.1. Permission denied. It's interesting. Anyway, yeah, once we get this updated, we'll try and run the script again. See if we can get remote code execution again, and go from there. Hello. Four point 2.3. CD netbox. I'm gonna let this run. I need to add this to the not the exploit script. I need to add this to the upgrade script. It should be doing it on its own anyway, but I guess it's not for I don't know what reason. I don't know if I'd be able to answer your questions, but does anyone have any questions? How did I find it? How did I don't know, choose the application? Honestly, I chose it because it's something that I use at work. And here's the thing, the version that I have at work is more secure than their latest version that they have, 4.2.3, and that's because, again, they've opted to not fix some of these issues. It's fine, you know. I've disclosed them to them. I've been issued the I've got the CVIDs reserved through MITRE, so you know I mean, I don't know. It was up to them to make this decision, and they've decided that due to the amount of access that's required to exploit, to perform, they are not going to fix it. Okay, cool, awesome. So, yes, you can see in this version, we end up with the actual script. It's broken, and it's being properly sanitized by Django. All because if we go and we look at the code, if I can even find it, whatever. I think it's actually RSS feed. Find name RSS feed.html. There it is. Yes. Okay. Oh no. This looks like. Oh no, there. Okay. Right. So here's where the vulnerability was. They've literally just removed safe. Filter. It's a built-in template and tags. So again, they had the safe filter set on the summary tag, entry.summary, which was just rendering the anything that was passed into the summary field. The reason that they were doing that, if we come in, we look at, let's refresh this so it breaks. But if we come in and we look at this, their like actual RSS feed, we're gonna see now that because they've removed that, they haven't actually created a new filter or anything. So it actually is broken. It does break. It's not. It doesn't like the UI is broken. We open up the secondary field here. We can see. It's actually broken. Your is broken. But I mean, that's not going to be like the only thing. Operations ampersand 821. One I don't know what these actually are. I don't know what these are meant to like render out to. That's obviously like an apostrophe, but regardless, we can see that the feed itself is actually broken. So while they did fix it in terms of it's no longer rendering user supplied input or something that's whatever, like it's not rendering the code in the browser because they're filtering it out. Or at least they're not explicitly saying, hey, this is safe, which is what they were doing. They were adding that safe filter. And so it's broken. It works, but it's broken, which I think is great. And they could do the same thing with the top and bottom banner. They could do the same thing with the maintenance field. Hey, get fucked. Yeah, get fucked. No, it's I don't know. Pretty cool. Anyway, these are my vulnerabilities, and hope you liked them. Hope you liked seeing them. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun finding them. And it's been a lot of fun disclosing them. Actually, it's not been a lot of fun disclosing them. Netbox, from like the get-go, kind of seemed a little irritable when it came to bugs and CVEs. And I say like specifically one developer, he seemed, based on posts that I had read, he seemed to have a less than desirable outlook on vulnerability disclosures and CVEs in general, unfortunately, which is kind of why I put so much effort into the report. Yeah, dude, I don't know. There was like a bot in the other channel. There's a bot in the other channel. I was like posting about like view botting. It was like, hey, you can pay this service and you can get more viewers. Let me tell you how much that helps. No, I was just like, that's just like this stuff's ridiculous, man. Just get out of here. Get out of here with your fucking bot shit. But anyway, that developer, he based on like seeing how he mentioned other CVEs that had been, or like vulnerabilities that became CVEs. Um, Watching him do that kind of had me a little worried that Netbox was never going to accept any of these. So after like 2 months, after 2 months of trying to disclose to Netbox um, via their security, let's see if we can see it via their security page, the security policy. They want you to email security@netboxlabs.com. What's next after the OSCP? Oh, I've done the OSCP. I passed it. Um, and ever since I passed it, I mean, this is kind of what I've been doing. Actually, so I failed the OSCP, and then I took a month off from like studying for the OSCP because even though I had failed, I honestly felt like I could have passed it. I failed it with 60 points. I completed all of the standalone machines. I rooted all of them, and it was more me. Oh, sorry, I meant since you passed. What's next after? Yeah. Since I passed the OCP. Yeah, it's really this. I gotta finish. I have to finish disclosing these. So obviously I've disclosed them to Netbox. I've got the reserve the CVs from MITRE. I please do not accept. Sorry, I want to see if this has changed at all. I'll read it in a second. I've got the CVEs reserved from MITRE. So now what I have to do is publicly disclose them. And while I'm sure that maybe this would count, I don't know, but I need to publicly expose them, disclose them on some website. I don't know, probably like honestly, I don't know where. Exploit DB or something. Never heard of Netbox. Just the big bug bounty programs. They're overwhelming. Yeah, bug bounty programs are overwhelming. I actually just happened to come across this because of the senior network engineer that I work with. My job title is a junior network engineer. He found this. I wanted to try it out. Well, I'm interested in security, so I wanted to break it, or just see how vulnerable it was. Like at work, at work, I've been trying to kind of prove that I'm more valuable than just help desk, or even like I wouldn't say network engineers are less valuable. Neither is help desk, but that's primarily what I did, right? And so I was trying to move away from that, and by doing so, like doing this, um, I've been able to resolve or help resolve, at least highlight vulnerabilities in an application, and then the RSS feed's been resolved, at least in the latest version. So that's something. And then Netbox knows about the other vulnerabilities. My hope is maybe they'll receive some pressure or something from someone in the future. Here's some other ones. May 2024, July 2024. Yeah. I don't know. Joseph says, that's awesome, man. I tried the same thing when I was a network administrator and was stonewalled hard. It's good to have supportive environment that uses your talents. Yeah, it is not easy. Let me tell you, I've been doing like security stuff for them for years and years. I helped them find and implement, like I tested and implement and did like started and ran configured like the phishing campaigns that we did through KnowBe4. I found KnowBe4. I went and got the demo set up and interfaced with all of them, and then I passed on that information and stuff to my administrators. Our secure endpoint solution, our endpoint detection and response application. I don't know. When I first came on, one of the things that I told them was that I was interested in security. This was, I think, 6 years now. 6 years ago, yeah. And I don't know. I mean, they didn't have a security guy, a security person at all. So I just ended up really taking over as much as they'd allow me to take over, which is a lot of what helped to like learn more, honestly. It wasn't until late last year that they actually started to let me do like so they took me off of the help desk work, they took me off of everything, and they just told me to focus exclusively on pen testing and resolving vulnerabilities that were I'd located on the network. Ended up fixing our many certificates for a certificate authority. And honestly, there was so much. There was so much that had to be fixed, and we're still fixing it. For instance, today we've got a bunch of certificates that have expired. So I've been going to all of them, renewing the certificate, going to the certificate authority, and getting a new certificate, and then uploading it onto the server, and then having to. So they haven't been doing redirects. So everything like HTTP is open, port 80 is open. So what I've been doing today at work was setting in HTTPS like a forward, so from port 80 to 443, and then forcing it and setting HSTS, enabling it, HSTS, and forcing the redirect to happen. Ionic Basher, congrats on the CVE. That will help. I'm hoping to fish for some also after the OCP. Yeah, that's exactly it, dude. And struggling, like finding the application to actually hack on, to me was the hardest part. I spent a lot of time just trying to find a netbox, right? Like, and since netbox, I've also tried to do something called Uptime Kuma and Landsweeper. Landsweeper is a bit different. It's the first bug bounty target that I've like tried to actually go after. That has like a bug in a bug bounty program. I had to set up like a whole bunch of servers to even test the stupid thing, and right as I like got all of that spun up, I don't know. I guess I just kind of got carried away with Netbox. Honestly, I just found the vulnerabilities, started going into it. Yeah, thank you. I love this this setup in what are these? It's the minimal setup. Please stop. What is happening? It's actually just a single theme and then a community plugin. If you want to make yours look similar, it's pretty awesome. It's just this minimal theme. And in the community plugins, there's a plugin called Minimal theme settings, options, and oh man. Yeah, so it lets you set colorful frames, the headers, H1, H2, so on and so forth. I like it a whole lot. And then we have the code blocks. I don't know. I like it. This is a great theme, if you ask me. I'm wondering for my job search if I should not target large organizations where they're more likely to keep you in your lane. I want the freedom to show what I can find and uncover. I can understand that. I've only had 2 IT jobs. One was like I worked for a burger restaurant, a local burger, like local to my state restaurant, and everything was like in house, right? So we'd run all of the every time we would open a new store, we'd run all the cabling and buy all the hardware, set up all the software and the POS systems and all of that good stuff. And because they were so cheap, they wanted us to create our own alarm system, and so that kind of got me into all of that, which was really really odd because we were actually using freaking like Home Assistant, Node-RED, like just custom applications to tie in with like Unify equipment. It was really weird, and menu boards. But I mean, I don't know. It was fun, just like getting to tinker with all of that stuff and experiment. And then this job that I'm at right now, it's they just didn't have someone that was interested in security at the time, and I was. So I made sure that they knew how interested I was, how much I loved it, and how much I wanted to keep going. And then I did so many things for free. So anytime I have downtime, like I'm not doing help desk tickets or I'm not doing something on the network, I'm actively trying to harden the network. I'm finding vulnerabilities. I'm finding things that are too permissive. We had an imaging server which has like a static administrator password on it, and it was accessible to everyone in our organization. Anyone that was authenticated and knew that the server existed could access the C drive. If they, I mean, from there, they could easily like go in and grab the static local administrator file, and that's bad. I don't know. There were a lot of instances of things like that. Implemented labs. I like set up a test group, test OU. I've popped some computers in there and I showed like, hey, this is pretty easy to set up. This is how we should use it. We should start using labs, so on and so forth. They seemed interested in it, but we've also just finished a pen test and we're cleaning up, some of the problems that were found. So Labs has been placed on the back burner. It's configured. All they have to do is like give me the go ahead, and we can start pushing it out. I've already started. I pushed out so we had to create a new administrator account because we're working for like SOC 2 compliance, and with that there's so many things that we need to have. We need to implement a SIM. We need to start doing more logging of information. We've got to create procedures to like track changes, so on and so forth. There's there's so much stuff to do that a lot of the things have been placed. All like we were having to prioritize, right? So while it would be smart of us to implement labs, which is I've already set up, and I've already tested, and I've already pushed out this administrator user that's not the local built-in administrator account. Um, they still have other things that are, I guess, priority over that, like resolving these vulnerabilities that were detected in our last pen test. And to be honest, the vulnerabilities that were detected in our last pen test, they weren't that crazy. There weren't a lot of them, and they were all medium or low. And that's likely because we've like hardened the network so much through our own testing, that what we need to start doing is giving our pen testers additional access. So instead of just giving them access to our internal network, we should also be providing them with two different sets of credentials: a low credentialed user and a higher credentialed user, right? Like a more privileged user on the network. And I think that would help to really open up a lot of the vulnerabilities. Like at that point, we would be taking on like the assumed breach situation, where let's say someone opened up a phishing email and they've been compromised, and now an attacker is on the network. What kind of mischief can they get themselves into while on the network? That would be ideal in the next pit test coming up. And I've actually said that for the last 2 years. So hopefully, year 3 is the charm, because this year they really didn't find many vulnerabilities at all. Most of them informational low, and a couple medium. And then last year it was also like not that crazy. It wasn't that bad. Again, just a lot of informational stuff, and like, hey, your server is saying that it's telling us it's Windows IIS, things like that. I'm like, well, sure, that's not great, but there's also nothing there. The server that it's on is up to date. We've got antivirus, not antivirus. We do, but EDR running on it, defenders on it. There's a lot of stuff that's already being done to kind of prevent and mitigate that stuff, or potential problems. And we update security patches like probably not many organizations do, where a lot of places are like, oh, let's hold off so that we can see if something breaks. We're just like, you know what? Let's make let's take a backup. Let's make a backup, and let's just push it. Let's just see what happens. If something breaks, whatever, we'll just revert, to a good version. And that's because maybe some of our systems aren't as critical, and the systems that are critical, we aren't obviously taking offline. We're being more careful with, but I don't know. It's fun. Joseph says, yeah, over permissive 80 service accounts were a big problem in my last gig. I helped harden those a bit too. Use my job to turn it into a security job like yourself. Oh, cool. So, what are you doing now? Didn't you say you're network admin, right? Let me scroll up. Network. Yeah. Oh, when you were a network administrator. I tried the same thing when I was a network administrator. Are you doing anything now? So technically, I am still a junior network administrator, even though I do all of these things. Uh, it's just there hasn't come a point, I guess, maybe in budget. I don't know. They just haven't been able to justify a security position, and maybe some of that is because they don't have to. I'm doing it anyway. You know, I'm helping anyway. I'm actively seeking out these jobs and fixing them for them. And, you know, they're not paying me a security salary. So you're an InfoSec right now, info security officer, boring compliance stuff. Dude, I wouldn't call it boring. I would call it hard. It's hard. Compliance is hard, right? Like, I mean, you're out there sifting through document freaking-tation. I don't know. It's, and then you're creating policies, and then like someone, I don't know. We're just now getting into the realm of like somebody wants an application installed on their computer for their department, and now we're needing to read the security policy, read how the information is shared, what information are they keeping, or like what information is being sent to that company, what guarantees are they giving us, what is their what's their like their patching like, you know, their updates, how's that kind of things disclosed, how often are they pushing out patches for their software, where do the patches come from, I don't know, things of that nature. All my InfoSec studies are on my own time right now. 2 jobs basically. Yeah, dude, that's exactly how it is, and that's how you have to be. You have to be that way, because like the next guy is gonna try and do more, right? Like literally spending every waking moment. I know that the moment I wake up until the moment I go to bed, I'm doing this stuff every day, and I think that that's what we just have to do. Because the thing is, like, I'm not even trying to keep up, I'm trying to catch up. And maybe the catch up thing is like a self-imposed, you know, type thing. Like maybe I'm trying to catch up to people with 10 years of experience, but you know, that's what I want. I want to catch up with those people. I want to be on the same level as them, and I'm sure that you do too. And only one way to get there is really try, persevere through all of this, wade through these logs. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get off here. I don't know. I'm glad I got to go back through this. I'm glad that it didn't completely break. 4.2.3. Remember, if you're watching this and you have Netbox Community Edition, make sure that you're at least updated to version 4.2.2. I'm on version 4.2.3 right now, but version 4.2.2 is the version where the RSS feed, the cross-site scripting in the RSS feed has been resolved since that moment. If you're not on that version already, I recommend that you go and do that. If you need to know how to update, I want to say installation and upgrade, they have a very easy guide you can follow. It's as simple as what you've been seeing me type in, but also on this download page, on this upgrade page, you just netboxlabs.com, docs, netbox, English, or whatever your language is, stable installation upgrading. You come in, you take this newer version, and you make it the newest version available from their GitHub, and you take the old version, which will be your current version. All you need to do is change these environmental variables to the new version, and to the current version, which is the old version, your current version installed, and you run these applications. What it's going to do is pull down from the GitHub, from their archives. It's going to untar it. It's going to create a symbolic link in op netbox. It's going to move the files that are inside of local.requirements.txt, configuration.py, and ldap-config.py. I comment ldap out because I don't have that set up. And then it's going to copy everything that's inside of media, and we're going to copy the scripts and reports into the new version. If you use Gunicorn, it's going to run the Gunicorn Pi. I did not use Git, but if you did, you can use that. And then you just need to run upgrade.sh. That's actually what I need to fix in my script that's causing problems. Let's cd into opt ls nano upgrade sudo nano Let's see where the problem is. I think it's here. Shit, what is it? Is it just upgrade.py? Maybe upgrade.sh. Yeah, it's upgrade.sh. Okay. So anyway, that's right. And then you're going to run, you're going to restart the netbox instance and netbox RQ, those processes, and then if you don't already have the symbolic link, you can make it. But I like to run the netbox contrib netbox housekeeping.sh on its own because it cleans up like stored and cached shit in netbox. So I have that as like my final command in here. You see that session died. Probably after a service restart. Anyway, if you learned something, awesome. I hope you did. I hope you did learn something. Hope you learned that it's kind of as easy as, man, honestly, like when I saw that safe, I read what it did. I went and read what the safe filter did. It kind of lit a fire. From that point, I started looking everywhere. I just like searched essentially for safe. And the reason there are so many cross-site scripting vulnerabilities is because they're different files inside of Netbox. So while it is all XSS and a lot of it stems from the same filter, they are considered different vulnerabilities because they're in different files, and the code within those files is different. Yeah, and that's actually not the case for everywhere. Like the configuration and the maintenance banner, they have their own that doesn't look anything like, they don't actually use safe. They're just not sanitizing user input in these areas. And while I somewhat agree with Netbox in that, like, sure, the upload is like the ability to upload scripts is, I don't know, cool and useful and stuff. Like, I don't believe that when I upload a script that it should run automatically. Like, I don't know. Honestly, it's a good thing that they fixed that RSS feed because, I mean, you could get, remote code execution around the world, right? Through RSS feed if you like just compromise the vendor. So anyway, everyone, have a good night. Joseph, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking about me, dude. I'm actually really glad somebody came in and just like talked. It's cool. It's cool. I appreciate you, man. Ionic Beaver, thanks for coming. Big Lil, thanks as well. Snowden showed up. And thanks for that dumbass bot that was telling me about the, I don't even know, whatever it was he was saying. Anyway, everybody have a good night, and I'll see you later. See you later if it actually stops. Goodbye.